Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. June is traditionally filled with graduations and wedding rituals that mark two of our most important life transitions. Whether you are a graduate walking across the stage or a newlywed walking down the aisle, you're focusing on your future. It's a perfect opportunity to think about what you need to do financially to provide for that future. Here, adapted from a column that I originally wrote a few years ago, is what I might call Life Planning 101 for beginning adults. It's a summary of my best financial advice for graduates, newlyweds, and anyone else just starting out in their adult lives and careers. Here's how anyone can manage money wisely to create a life with more security, flexibility, and opportunity. First, on every gross dollar you earn, pay your taxes first. Estimate your total tax liability and be sure your employer withholds enough to cover it because you are responsible ultimately. If you are self-employed, set up a savings account, deposit a percentage of every check into it, and use that money to pay your quarterly estimated taxes. Never, ever raid those funds. Next, save for the future by putting away at least 20%, preferably more, of every gross dollar you earn, that's gross dollar, until you have 6 to 1 year of living expenses in an emergency account. Then begin investing that same amount in your employer's 401k or a retirement plan. If you're self-employed, set up a retirement plan that will allow you to invest as much as you possibly can. My co-authored book, Conscious Finance, includes a chapter on how to begin investing. It will give you some pretty wise tips. Next, set up a short-term savings account for future lump sum expenses like car and home repairs, vacations, holiday giving, college tuition, medical expenses, things of this type. Now, this is not your emergency account. This is a short-term savings account for one-time type expenses that come up on a regular or irregular basis. Figure out how much you'll need to save from every paycheck to fund all of these, and then, if possible, have your employer automatically send that amount to your savings account. Now, after you've taken out for your taxes, your long-term savings, and your short-term savings, you get to blow the rest any way you want. For most people, this means living on 30 to 60 cents out of every gross dollar you earn. Not your take-home, but your gross. And this is the real key of building wealth. We've got to learn to live on a fraction of every dollar that comes in, taking care of all of the other things that I've mentioned first. Pay yourself first. And this is what extremely wealthy people do, and successful people. They don't necessarily have a budget, but they pay themselves first, take care of all their obligations, all their savings account. Then they blow the rest. And they often don't know how much they're spending on eating out or anything else, and does it really matter if you've provided for everything else first. To maintain a comfortable lifestyle, you've just got to spend frugally. So shop sales, clip coupons, read labels, compare, and bargain. People who build wealth usually don't wear designer clothes, they don't drive luxury cars, they don't live in extravagant houses or shop at Neiman Marcus. They typically wear jeans bought on sale, drive Fords, live in middle-class neighborhoods, and shop at Walmart. Another tip is to pay cash for everything but your home. Now, for convenience, you can use a debit card. Don't use a credit card unless you pay it off every month. And actually, using a credit card is safer than using a debit card because you get the fraud protection. On a debit card, you don't get a fraud protection. So the key is to pay it off every month. Now, if you ever find yourself unable to pay off the card, cut it up. Pay off the balance as quickly as you can, and then don't use a credit card for at least a year. When you do get a raise, a new job, or a promotion, don't change your lifestyle. Save at least half of the increased income. A lot of kids coming out of college make this mistake. They get a job, they've been eating ramen noodles for 4 years, and they expand their lifestyle to absorb all of their newfound income. This is a bad mistake. You'd be much better off continuing to eat the ramen noodles and save like crazy. Did you know that if a 22-year-old saved $5,000 a year and stopped when they were 29, they would have $1 million at age 65? If that 22-year-old waited until 29 to start saving $5,000 a year and saved it every year for the next 36 years until they were 65, they too would have $1 million. Now that's figured at an 8% return, which is not unreasonable. The deal is start saving and accumulating as early as possible in life. It's the magic of compounded returns that can make a huge difference in your retirement income nest egg. Remember that your career is your #1 financial asset. As much as possible, find a job you love. Invest in educating yourself and keep abreast of changes in your career field. My colleague Michael Holbrook out of Racine, Wisconsin recommends that you set up yet another savings account for career management that will be there in case, much like an emergency fund if you lose your job, but also to retrain yourself and keep abreast and on top of your field. Finally, I'd recommend that you use money as a tool, not a goal. Money will never give you meaning. Money in itself will never make you happy. But it is a valuable tool to support your quest for meaning and happiness. This self-discipline approach isn't going to help you get rich in a hurry. What it will do is establish a lifetime pattern of sound money management. If you follow that pattern, you can create a satisfying, responsible relationship with money now, as well as secure a prosperous future. Thanks for joining me.